What's up and welcome back to my channel. I know, it's been a little while since I have put out insurance content, but that changes today. Today is going to be your beginner guide into picking an agency that makes sense for you and how to get licensed. A little background on me, I do have 3 licenses. I started with my life accident and health license working at New York Life. And then I moved over to property and casualty working for an independent broker. And then I moved again to a bigger independent broker where I still sell life accident and health, property and casualty, and now I am a licensed real estate agent. So it has been a long 8 years, but I do have the experience and hopefully my knowledge helps you get to where you want to be in your new exciting field of insurance. So before we even talk about licensing, because you do not do that on your own, we are going to interview. Insurance is extremely different depending on where you live. I also do want to preface that I have never worked for a direct writer. I am a little biased. I'm not a huge fan of direct writers. Direct writers would be a Geico, an Allstate, a Liberty Mutual, an Amica. So I personally have always preferred independent agencies, and that is because you can write with multiple carriers. When I started with property and casualty insurance, I left the life accident and health side and decided I wanted something that wasn't as corporate. I obviously love marketing. Here we are on YouTube. And working for someone that's a direct writer or more corporate, you really can't do anything. You can't post anything at all. So I did decide to go to a mom and pop shop who had 3 offices, and we worked with about a dozen insurance carriers. So this is where people get kind of mixed up with insurance. You have your car insurance through Progressive, and that is a carrier. But I am your agent, Erin Nogueira, and I work at Bearing Star Insurance Agency. So the agency has an agent that shops insurance carriers for you, and then I write you with Progressive. So agency, agent, carrier. I like the freedom and flexibility of having a unique family and home and autos and being able to place them with anyone I want. If I was working, for an example, Amica, I wouldn't be able to do that. I live in New England. Amica doesn't love coastal business. And this is an example. I don't know. I don't write with Amica, but they might not like coastal business, so they might decline me living on the water. We're working for an agency. I work with multiple coastal carriers, so I can write that business, which makes sense living in Massachusetts, especially the South Coast. So I would say those are the 2 cons of working with a direct writer. Is it's very corporate. You have to run through the chain of command, and you are limited to 1 carrier, so 1 product. And if the product does not fit the client, then you lose the business. Working for an independent agency like I currently do, I work with over 2 dozen carriers. So the chances of me losing business are very slim. We are larger. I think we have 12 to 14 offices, but our culture is very family oriented, which I like. So we have the structure of management and we have the departments in place, but it's not an agency that I have to run everything I do by each department and then nothing ever gets done because it takes so long to go through every department. Once you narrow down where you want to work, whether that be an independent agency or a direct writer, that's when you want to get into the fun interview questions, like what their company culture is like. If you are someone that needs to be micromanaged, then being an insurance consultant probably isn't for you. Sales is the land of the free. As long as you're bringing the business in, then you shouldn't really need to be coached. If this is your first time sales position, then you are going to want someone to really hold your hand and micromanage you. I'm not that type of person. I do well being thrown out into the wolves and then figuring it out. My previous agency was really great about celebrating everyone's birthdays and making sure that we had company functions, but that was also because we were pretty small, where the agency I'm working at now is huge. We're all over Mass, all over Connecticut, based out of Boston. So we're big. We can't be celebrating everyone's birthdays, and I'm still working from home 2 years later. So that's going to be different for every agency. I can't speak on that. Another important question is what turnover is like at this agency. With life insurance specifically, they hire everyone. I hate receiving DMs and people are like, oh my God, I just got hired at New York Life. They take anyone and everyone because they expect you to sell to your friends and family And either you burn yourself out and hustle hard for 2 years, or you just die out. And guess what? They got the business. They got the policies from your friends and family and you, and you're gone. And then they're gonna have another agent that has been in the business for longer service your work. So turnover is very high at life insurance companies. I'm not sure about health insurance companies. I really have never worked on that side of the industry. But as an insurance consultant, this is really important. If turnover is high, that means that management probably stinks, or they're promising you the world and delivering you nothing. So don't be afraid to ask questions during your interview. You are interviewing them even more than they are interviewing you. They need you. You don't need them. Next question you want to ask is what your support system will be like. I am extremely blessed at the agency I currently work at, where our infrastructure is awesome. I have a service department, I have a support department, and I have a quote and issue department. Quote and issue department. Sorry, I think I said that way too fast. So this is important as a sales associate, as an insurance consultant, because your main focus is bringing business in, not servicing it. They need a service department to make sure your business stays where the hell it is. That's not your job, ever. So don't get caught up in servicing clients. Make sure they have those departments in place. One of the best things about my agency is the quote and issue department. So I bring in the clients, I gather all the information neatly on an Excel spreadsheet, and I send it out to Q&I. Q&I then has the extensive knowledge of every carrier. They put all the information I gathered into a database, and then they send me back the best carriers for my clients, and then I present it. So having a quote and issue department also frees up so much of my time. I can't imagine if I had to quote everything that I was bringing in. I also think management is extremely important because we are so big. We do have 2 different sales teams spread across Massachusetts, and I don't even know about Connecticut. I'm just speaking on our Mass offices. So we have a director, we have a manager, we have manager support. So there is always someone that I can reach out to if I need something at any given time, which is crucial with insurance. It's a very, very stressful job. I don't care what anyone says. You have homes closing, you have lenders demanding binders, you have realtors that need flood quotes. It's never ending. So make sure management is there and going to be there to help you with everything that you need, especially if you are just starting out. Commission. I have some people ask how much I make. I'm not answering that. I feel like that's very rude to ask and personal. Commission is important to go over with every agency that you are interviewing with. At my last agency, I didn't make anything in commission. I thought it was great, I really did, but the way that their structure was, it just capped me into making bare minimum. So when I interviewed with my current agency, I was blown away. I was blown away at how much commission they were giving me, at renewals they were giving me when my old insurance agency wasn't doing that. So never settle, definitely interview just to get an idea of what different commission structures are like at different agencies. So I did mention renewals. Not everyone gives you renewals. I know renewals are very common in life, accident, and health side of the industry, but for property and casualty, not so much. Having obtainable bonus structures is definitely important as well. I'm a competitive person. I love seeing the numbers of my peers. That way I know what numbers I need to target, who is on my hit list that I want to get ahead of for the next month. So make sure if they do have a bonus structure, it's obtainable. Not that you need to sell 600 policies a month. Make sure that the bonus structure makes sense. If there is one, if there isn't, ask them why. There should be bonuses. I would never work for an agency that didn't put a little bit of pressure on an insurance consultant to get ahead. Now we're done with the major points of interviewing. If I missed anything, make sure you leave it in the comment section down below. I'll be sure to answer. So let's get into licensing. When I started at New York Life, did I say I worked for New York Life? I worked for MetLife. Did I say New York Life? I never worked for New York Life. I started as an admin assistant. I was still in college. I worked my way up to the team manager. I managed 3 financial advisors, and then I got licensed in life, accident, and health. So when I worked for MetLife, they paid for me to take classes. They paid for my practice exams. They paid for my study material. They paid for my testing. They paid for my license. A good agency will invest in you. I have never heard of an agency that doesn't pay for all of that. So please do not go get licensed on your own dollar and then go get hired somewhere. When I decided to switch over to property and casualty, it was the same thing. They paid for everything. I hope you guys can't hear that fire alarm going off. Once you are licensed, you will have continuing education requirements. So my agency pays for those classes as well. I do not pay for anything out of pocket. I believe within the first year, you need 60 continuing education credits, and then the next 3 years is 45. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. That could be mass specific. Do not hold me accountable to that, but I know it is somewhere around there. As far as studying goes, take the practice exams. I read the book once. I took every quiz at the end of the chapter. And then when I was not sitting there reading, I had YouTube vocab on constantly. Washing dishes, folding laundry. Like, I didn't watch TV. That was my main focus. And then I was taking practice exams. There are so many apps that you can get on your phone, on your iPad. There are programs if you want to work off of a computer. The resources are endless. I would say dedicate a month to 2 months to studying. I believe every agency gives you like 3 months to get licensed. It could be something shorter. Like I said, I've been licensed for about 8 years, so things could have also changed. I think that covers the basics of getting licensed and finding the insurance company for you. I can't harp on this enough, but if I missed anything and you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at Erin Heartbreak. I am very responsive. So if this video was helpful and you want to see more insurance content, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.